everyone, welcome to Qianmo Accounts. Every 4 years, the Olympic Games are held in a city that attracts attention from the world. In this video, we will talk about the finances of the Olympic Games. Let's do a bit of calculation whether hosting the event can be profitable or not for the host city. The first modern Olympic Games was held in 1896 in Athens. Since then, except for the interruptions during the World War I and World War II, the Summer Olympic Games have been held every 4 years, in total 32 editions. At the beginning, the Games were held in a much smaller scale. The first Olympics had 240 athletes from 14 countries and featured 43 sport events. Today's Paris Olympics has around 10,500 athletes from over 200 countries, with 329 sporting events. You can see the scale of the Olympic Games has grown substantially, evolving into the largest and most extensive sporting events in the world. The founding of the Olympic Games has also changed quite a lot. The changing point is at the Los Angeles Olympics in 1984. Before 1984, Olympic Games were mainly funded by the government of the hosting country and the philanthropic contributions. Commercial revenue was quite limited. Despite the spendings, governments in many countries saw the Olympics as an opportunity to showcase their cities and countries on the global stage, which justified the investment in terms of the national reputation, tourism, and long-term economic benefits. Some countries have utilized the opportunity presented by the Olympic Games to invest in and upgrade their infrastructure, thereby fostering economic development. Japan, for example, capitalized on this opportunity during the 1964 Games. The economic developed rapidly in the 1960s in Japan, and Japan needed a global event to represent and reshape its global image. The Games spurred significant investments in infrastructure and urban development, including the bullet train and many other constructions. This contributed to the transformation of Tokyo into a modern metropolis. But this benefit does not necessarily extend to all host countries, unfortunately, especially as the scale of the Games continues to grow. One of the examples is the Montreal Olympics in 1976, which ended in a huge debt that took 30 years to pay off. The Montreal Olympics initially had a budget of 120 million Canadian dollars, with 71 million budgeted for the Olympic Stadium alone. But in the end, it turned out that the architect's ambitious and elaborate design of the stadium was too difficult to achieve at that point of time. Also, the construction team appeared to lack the management experience with large projects. The stadium ended up costing 1.1 billion Canadian dollars, and the final tally of the cost for the Olympics was 1.6 billion, which is 13 times over the initial budget. Although the Olympics were successfully held and concluded, the city incurred a massive debt that took 30 years to pay off, finally settling it in 2006. With Montreal as an example, fewer cities were applying to host the Olympic afterwards. The only city that applied for the 1984 Olympics was Los Angeles. Without any competition, Los Angeles became the host city for the 1984 Olympics. This time, to prevent hosting cities from falling into financial crisis, the Los Angeles Olympics introduced an entirely new business model. This approach has since established the framework for the commercialization of the Olympics, which continues to be used today. Unlike previous Olympics, which was primarily funded and organized by the government with some financial support from contributors, the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics were organized by the Los Angeles Olympic Organizing Committee, which is separate from the government and is required to seek commercialized funding instead of relying on the fundings from the government. The committee was led by this guy called Peter Uberroth, and we will remember this name because it was him and his team who came up with the innovative funding strategy that are still used today. So what is the new business model? How could Olympics make money other than just an event elevating the city's image? The new funding comes from a few major sources: selling the broadcast rights, selling advertising, and selling the tickets, of which the first two, the broadcast rights and the advertising, are the major sources. Can the revenue from those sources cover the cost of holding the events? To make the answer to this question a tick, Peter and his team literally employed every possible marketing tactic you could think of to boost the revenue. First, sell the event broadcasting rights. In the past, broadcast rights were sold at low prices to all broadcasting companies without differentiation, because more people watch the games, the better, right? However, this time it is different. The International Olympic Committee is a non-profit organization, but the Olympics itself is a significant intellectual property. After all, it is the largest sport event in the world, embodying the most widely accepted sport spirits. So why not use this huge IP to the best it can? So bidding and exclusivity were introduced. The broadcasting company that bids the highest receives the exclusive right to broadcast the Olympic Games. Companies with exclusive broadcasting rights can surely expect large audiences and substantial advertising revenue, right? So why not sell this exclusivity for what it's worth? This move proved to be highly financially successful. The revenue from the bidding of the broadcast rights in 1984 was 4 times the revenue received from the broadcast in 1976. Second, the Olympic Partner Program, which is to sell the advertise. Again, the key word is exclusivity. Peter and his team choose 30 different industries, selecting only one brand from each industry to become a global partner with the Olympic Games. This approach ensured that no competing brands would be part of the program. For instance, if Pepsi becomes a global partner, Coke would not. This strategy enhanced the market value of being advertised as an Olympic partner. With these genius marketing tactics, substantial revenue was made from the bidding process to be a global partner of the Olympics in 1984. Broadcasting rights and brand advertising revenue are the largest sources of income for holding the Olympic events. Ticket sales and souvenir sales are not the primary revenue source, but they also contributed quite a bit in 1984, thanks to the smart marketing tactics. The seating arrangements was strategically designed with different sections, and according to the location of the seat tickets, they are sold in different prices, all of which ensures a maximum number of people coming to watch the games as well as receiving as much revenue as possible. You do need good accountants for this. With all those efforts and redesigns, not only the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics has made a profit of $233 million, it also set a standard business model for the future Olympics. It has been demonstrated that hosting Olympics can be profitable even when evaluating the financial results of only the games themselves. The number of cities applying to host the Olympic Games has increased significantly after 1984, Following Los Angeles, both Seoul 1988 and Barcelona 1992 Olympics generated good profits too. The economy in those cities also experienced a boost. Having said that though, hosting Olympic Games is a big test for the host's project management capabilities. Without careful planning and meticulous execution, exceeding the budget and resulting in a loss is a quite large likelihood. There has been a lot of cities in history making big losses from hosting the games, and almost no countries has ever managed to not blow the budget. The question is actually how much the budget has been exceeded. This is a graph showing the overrun of budget for the games held from 1988. The Rio 2016 Summer Olympics had the largest budget overrun at 352%. The lowest overruns were in the 2008 Beijing Summer Olympics and the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics, both at only 2% budget overrun. No city ever has stayed within its budget, and the average overrun is over 120%. I kind of like looking at this because it suddenly makes me feel that by comparison, I am doing such a great job at my work. Anyways, the Olympic Games are among the largest sporting events in the world. And as human beings, we do need those games to highlight the unity of the world. But if you have an accountant's mind and ever wonder whether the Olympics makes money, hope this video gives you a bit of overview of the picture. Thank you for watching. See you next time. At the end of the video, I am delighted to announce that Qianmo Accountants has launched courses designed to support accountants in starting and advancing their careers in Australian accounting industry. Our courses, working in accounting firms, cover topics of completing individual and company tax returns, best preparation, and step-by-step guide to working at year-end financial reports. The website is pasted in the below description, and you are welcome to visit if you find it helpful.